Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, August 4th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The announcement of the release of the recent reports by the Director of Audit on the High Court presents matters that requires answers and following up on. That's according to Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves while speaking to members of the media on the issue of the sudden resignation of former High Court Registrar Tamara Gibson Marks. Dr. Gonsalves says that he received a copy of the report last Wednesday and that he has been advised that copies were also sent to the other relevant government institutions, including the Commissioner of Police, the Attorney General, and the Director of Public Prosecutions. The Prime Minister further explains that he contacted Judith Jones-Morgan, the Attorney General, and the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ronald Hathaway, to inquire if they had received the report, to which they both affirmed positively, and that they were studying the report closely before making a definite decision. Meanwhile, Gonsalves did not disclose details of the report except to say that he had read the report and remained confident that the relevant institutions of state would follow through with their work.
I don't want to go into the details of the report because the report is in the hands of the police and the DPP and also the Attorney General. But knowing how institutions of the state work, I would expect that those institutions would follow up in relation to matters raised in the report.
Former Registrar Tamara Gibson Marks will, in September, be made to answer as to whether she should be disbarred from practicing law in SVG or should disciplinary actions be brought against her. Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves today says Attorney General Judith Jones-Morgan, on the basis of the information which was available to her before the audit was complete, considered that the action of Marks was such that she ought to answer as to whether she should be disbarred or disciplined.
And that proceeding is, I am told, has been served on the former registrar in St. Lucia. There's an affidavit of service which has been sent to the Office of the Attorney General here. And that matter will come up for hearing on the 8th of September, I think the date she told me, Monday the 8th of September. The Attorney General had come to that conclusion that she must act, given the material which was before her and the conversation which she had with the former registrar in the presence of one of the Attorney General's senior members of staff.
Meanwhile, Deputy Commissioner of Police Ronald Hathaway says that it is still too early to form any opinion on what the next course of action, if any, will be taken against former Registrar Tamara Gibson Marks. Hathaway did not reveal much but told SVG-TV News that based on what he has seen thus far from the recent Director of Audit's report on the High Court, there are some issues which are cause for concern. And while he said that he was still perusing the document, DCP Hathaway says that his department will be seeking further guidance as they proceed. The Director of Audit's report was made available to Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves and the other relevant authorities last Wednesday. The document has been long anticipated following the sudden resignation of Gibson Marks back in May. And as word of the long-awaited Director of Audit's report on the High Court has been made available, Leader of the Opposition Anim Eustace says he is yet to see a copy of the document. Eustace told SVG-TV News that he had not seen the report and that he was not prepared to comment on the matter until he had done so. Eustace has been very vocal on the issue, making several calls to Prime Minister and Minister of Legal Affairs Dr. Rav Gonsalves to clear the air on the matter regarding the sudden resignation of the former Registrar of the High Court, Tamara Gibson Marks, back in May. Among the several calls made by Eustace included a letter to the Prime Minister where he asked Gonsalves to make it known whether relevant action would be taken against Gibson Marks. The execution of a search warrant by the police at the home of Mary Pompey, a 65-year-old shopkeeper of Richland Park, on August 2nd, 2014, has led to the discovery of a quantity of cocaine. Pompey appeared at the Kingston Magistrate Court this morning and pleaded guilty for having in her possession 20 grams of cocaine with intent to supply to another. She was ordered to pay the sum of $1,800, with $1,000 to be paid forthwith. In default, a 6 months jail term will be imposed and the balance of $800 to be paid August 22nd, 2014, or face a 4-month jail term. The National Surveillance Committee met earlier today to discuss further preventative measures for St. Vincent and the Grenadines against the deadly Ebola virus. Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves says the committee will also meet with stakeholders tomorrow, including the Ministry of National Security, Agriculture and Tourism.
In tourism, agriculture and also and so forth, and the medical schools, the 4 medical schools here. And on Wednesday, the staff of the Ministry of Health will also meet under the direction and guidance of the National Surveillance Committee and the meeting with the stakeholders. I should point out that I am aware that the Permanent Secretary had been in touch, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health had been in touch with the acting Chief Immigration Officer, because the Immigration Officer is on, Chief Immigration Officer is on holidays. I say all this to say that the ministry is mobilized and the ministry is working within the framework of the plan which is set out by CAFA.
A warning has been sounded to farmers that monies loaned to them from the Farmer Support Company is not social welfare money and should not be treated as such. Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves says he has been made aware that some farmers are using the fertilizer which they collect from the agricultural input warehouse and selling it at discounted prices. Dr. Gonsalves says it hints to him a few things, including that some farmers do not intend on doing any farming or intend to repay the loan.
This money is to develop your production. Of course, in any system, you will have 1 or 2 people trying to behave like that. And trying, but you're not beating the system, you know. You're only beating yourself. Because you'll be caught. Fortunately, from what the farmers on the ground tell me, these farmers are just few in between. The vast majority, who are the overwhelming majority, who are making use of the resources for the purpose for which it is intended.
Diabetes, hypertension and heart disease are some of the health conditions that fall under the bracket of chronic non-communicable diseases. They are also some of the typical illnesses that have been plaguing society within recent times. But although they are highly prevalent, they are also preventable. Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, yoga instructor and practitioner of Indian traditional medicine, or Ayurveda, has gone a step further and is now contending that the practice of yoga can help in the prevention and management of these diseases. Dr. Sharma, who teaches yoga at the Indian Embassy in Paramaribo, Suriname, visited the country last week and demonstrated how some exercises can lead to a longer, healthier life.
Yoga basically can be taken in many ways. Yoga itself is science. So how do you take up, it's all up to you. Some take yoga as a spiritual way, some take as a way of being healthy, some take yoga as a keep themselves fit, some take as a part of routine, and some take as yoga as preventing and management of certain diseases. So according to me, like as I had been practicing yoga, like there is no disease which cannot be prevented through yoga if you have a particular regime to be followed.
Diabetes, according to Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, is a metabolic disease which occurs when the body is no longer capable of managing the blood sugar level. However, Dr. Sharma says by an individual changing their eating habits and routine, the disease can be controlled.
So once the person is detected with diabetes and he has been given certain medicines, so these medicines or insulin, what if he has to take insulin, he has to take lifelong. But if he or she modifies routine, he can reduce the blood sugar level properly, he can reduce the dosage of the medicine or insulin he or she might be taking. So this can be achieved through proper diet and routine.